Hi, folks. I'm Father Joe Grimaldi. You can call me Joe, and I'd like to welcome you to my podcast. But now, here's our host and friend, Ken Calvert.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ken Calvert, alongside Father Joe Grimaldi. First of all, we hope you're having a great summer, and we would like to welcome you to the Father Joe Grimaldi podcast. Friends, I have 2 words for you. Starlinkin. Okay, make those 4 words. Visit Starlinkin today. Either in our beautiful showroom or online, the incredible lineup of new 2022 Lincolns are back in stock, and they are ready to move. Shop online with Star Express. Swift, simple, safe. Browse for your new Lincoln from home, customize and order from home, and receive $1,000 in payment assistance. Have I told you Star will buy your car, even if you didn't buy it from us? The previously owned market is so red hot right now, we are happy to have you stop in and visit with one of our executive sales associates. So remember, you have 2 ways, starlincoln.com, or if you're in southeast Lower Michigan, you can visit us at 12 Mile Road just east of Telegraph in Southfield, Michigan. Star Lincoln, home of the Father Joe Star treatment. How you feeling?
Feeling good.
Yeah, you got a little pep in your step there. And,
we try.
Well, it's so much easier in the summer. We were just talking about, getting away a couple of weeks maybe for some families, a little summer vacation.
Yeah.
Pack up the kids. When we gonna get there?
You remember that?
Yeah, but those turn into great memories.
Yes,
They turn into great memories. And, yeah, I miss those days. I truly do,
We look forward to that as old folks.
Those cars, man, those big cars and no seatbelts, and my father whipping that Oldsmobile around the corner and all 3 of us sliding from one side to the other. And we've talked about this before. My grandmother and grandfather, my grandmother always drove. I never figured this out. My grandfather's name was Charles.
Yeah.
But everyone called him Harry.
Okay.
Now, I don't know why, but my grandmother, Winifred, or Winnie, Harry and Winnie ran the house. Winnie drove the car. Winnie did everything. Harry didn't get to do a whole lot at all, and I don't think Harry minded.
No, he's got it easy.
Yeah, and they had a place up on Harson's Island, and we would go up there throughout the summer, spend a lot of time up there. And she had, my uncles all pitched in and got her some big fat-sized Bel Air Chevrolet or whatever it was. And I just know that it was the bare minimum in terms of what they put inside that car. There was nothing. Didn't have a radio, it just had the plate. Anyway, long story short, she would throw all of us, about 5 of us in that car with Harry, and we would all motor up to Harson's Island, leaving Detroit, going to Harson's, at a speed of, I would say, by golly, by gosh, I think she got that car up to one time maybe almost 40 miles an hour. I just remember looking over at my cousin Tony and just going, we're never going to get there.
You should ride a bike.
Oh, and you didn't even want to look out the back window because you could just see cars for miles. But it was fun. Great memories. Yeah. So people are getting out, and you had a chance to get away for a little bit and go up to Mackinac Island, but unfortunately you got the gift that keeps on giving, and that, of course, is COVID. But I digress. The pontiff took a bit of a summer trip, certainly not a vacation. Pope Francis made a pastoral visit to Canada from July 24th through the 29th. The Pope's visit provided a unique opportunity for him once again to listen and dialogue with indigenous peoples, to express his heartfelt closeness, and to address the impact of colonization and the participation of the Catholic Church in the operation of residential schools throughout Canada. Simply put, it was an apology tour. So he noticed the Pope is slowing down, but he left the Vatican. Does the Pope have his own airplane, or will...
Alitalia.
But other than that, Vatican City, it's a city, correct?
It's a city within itself, self-governing.
Like, would it have a road department?
Okay, it's interesting you bring that up. I think as late as 1939, somewhere there was a pact made between the Vatican and Italy. And so they've decided that they're going to help each other. So that, for example, the police force helps in both areas. The fire, same thing, both areas. So they do use the city of Rome as their alternative because they do share those benefits. Even though they're almost completely independent, they do need help when you speak about security and all of this other stuff. So let's face it, it's right in the middle of Rome, and it's not big a place.
But it's Vatican City, and
city-state, they say,
with support from Rome. So they provide an additional layer of protection for the pontiff.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But within the Vatican, there is also their own security force, or is that right?
They have a certain amount of security, yeah.
We all know Vatican City, or
Yeah.
at least heard of Vatican City, assume that there's something city-like about it. So the Vatican probably employs how many people?
Oh, my Lord.
Thousands, right?
Yeah.
And probably several layers of religious orders that are working at the Vatican?
Well, individuals, yeah. There's no particular order that does anything in particular. There's individuals. There's Jesuits, there's Franciscans, but also there's lay people, lots of lay people.
Of course, it'd have to be.
Their post office, they have their own post office, they have all of that. So they need to have all of those. It's not the only city-state in Italy, which is interesting. And just as an aside, I have friends, and I get a big kick out of this, because they do not like to say that they're visiting family in Italy. They say they're visiting family in San Marino. And so I think it's so funny. And when you confront them with that, you say, well, that's Italy. Oh, no, we are a separate city-state. And I says, oh, come on. You can go through it in about 3 minutes. I mean, why? No. We are a separate city-state. It's San Marino. And, of course, right here in Michigan, we have the San Marino Club.
Right.
You have to be...
a member of the San Marino Club, I believe.
Yeah, but also you have to have affiliation with San Marino.
Oh, you do? I didn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the family members has to have relatives there or be from there and so on and so forth. But I always get the big kick out of that they don't like to say that they're going to Italy. They're going to San Marino.
Yeah.
And so the Vatican is the same way, but they don't make a big deal out of it. I think we think of the Vatican in a different way because it is a religious place to visit, and so we just know it as the Vatican. They always say we're going to Italy, but we're going to be at the Vatican too.
So when people go to Italy, they naturally spend some time at the Vatican, no matter what.
Yeah, I think so. Well, because it has so many the works of art.
Oh, yeah.
The museum, the Basilica of St. Peter, which is spectacular, the gardens of the Vatican. So there's places to visit. There's little shops and so on and so forth. So people do go. There's no question.
And for the most part, you can get a glimpse of the Pope on a Sunday.
Sunday and Wednesday usually. Wednesday they call it an audience. It's not a private audience, but it's an audience all the same. Mm-hmm. A cast of thousands go to the Vatican just to hear him say a few words and a blessing. And they fight for their place in front.
Sure, yeah.
And so it's you have to get tickets, but even the tickets are so many that you're not going to be so close as you think you are. But every Wednesday he does that when the weather is good. If it's summertime, the Pope has a place in Castel Gandolfo, which is really only about a half hour, 3/4 of an hour away from Rome, north of the city, and usually it's a little bit cooler, and they have a nice vacation place. And sometimes he has audiences up there on Wednesdays.
Oh.
So it's kind of interesting. But otherwise, the usual audiences are right there at the Vatican.
And that can be 100,000 people, can it?
It can be.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've been to Greece and I've been to Ireland. I've never been to Italy.
Or even England, you said.
No, the only time I've crossed the pond was once with my wife's family, the O'Haras. We went to Ireland and stayed in a castle for almost 2 weeks. It was wonderful.
Okay.
And then I went to Greece with a very successful friend of mine, and we went on a magnificent yacht, the size of which I don't even want to say because it was so incredibly big. And we saw all of the islands in and around Greece, and I thought that there was a San Marino in Greece. I thought that was one of the islands that we visited, but it doesn't matter. We're not doing a travel program. I'm trying to concentrate on my fascination.
The Holy Father.
The Holy Father and the Vatican. So he does Sundays and Wednesdays.
Right. Sundays he does the Angelus.
Uh-huh.
I think he tries to do it in 2 or 3 languages. And then on Wednesdays, that's the official audience. But people do have private audiences.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to.
Week, yeah.
And it's amazing how people come away from having a one-on-one with the Pope, and they almost seem changed.
Yeah, the heads of state.
Yeah, and even sometimes an actor or an actress will say, you are in a room with somebody very special.
Yeah.
And I suspect that must be true. I can only imagine. Now, when the pontiff, the Pope, goes on a trip like he did to Canada, the size, the schedule, the wear and tear, there must be a lot of people putting together his entire agenda so tightly that it must just take a crew of at least 100 people, maybe more.
Yeah, he travels with that crew only, so there's no other visitors on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And very often, you'll see that if it is an important visit, which going to any country is going to be an important visit, but basically they do some sort of a news interview, before the plane takes off, and they want to know the Holy Father's comments on what he did and his interaction with the heads of state and all of this other stuff. So he allows that much.
A younger pontiff would come back on occasion and visit with the press on the plane.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, not so much anymore. Not so much anymore.
Well, he does at least one.
Yeah, but I mean, I've got to say, he's been Pope for 9 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, going on 9, I believe. And his health is starting to catch up with his age.
Right.
It's amazing that Benedict is still with us. I mean, do you think there will be a trend of retiring as opposed to going all the way to death?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting you say that. I find it to be a trend even among priests. So that if you want to be very technical about it, generally speaking, bishops have to resign at 75. Now, that is not always accepted by the Holy Father, the resignation, but often it is. They'll just accept it. Now, more and more bishops are retiring earlier, when they're 70, 72, 3, 4. And in certain cases, wherever they've had ill health, they'll retire even earlier than that. Now, I'm speaking about ordinary retirement. I'm not speaking about forced retirement. Mm-hmm. Although it's hard to tell the difference, because very often if somebody retires at 75 and that retirement is accepted immediately, you know that there wasn't anything serious, but it was enough that the Holy Father wanted to have a change. Priests are retiring earlier than usual now, too. So, for example, for priests, generally speaking, most dioceses, the retirement age is 70. But you'll find that people are retiring even at 65. They have to just give a good reason, and it's accepted.
You know, I don't blame anyone for doing that, because we all know what happens to the body after you've hit 70. No matter what, you're going to have some issues with arthritis. You're going to have some issues with the knees or the hips or the back or the neck or the shoulders or the hands, whatever the case may be. It's interesting that we've come upon this now, because do you think there will be a point where people would support the Pope having a 75 as a cutoff or a retirement age?
Well, of course, people will support it, because here's what's happening. Even in the secular world, people are starting to get very serious about having a time limit for a president of the United States.
You bet.
And so talking about that, talking about health issues, talking about aging, I don't think they would not support a pope who would want to retire earlier. Or when I say earlier, before he dies, because it was always a life appointment. Matter of fact, there's a little bit of talking here and there on the Holy Father retiring already. So
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I'm wondering if Benedict retiring, as he did, people were like, what? Wait a minute. What happened?
Well, because it never happened.
I know. So all of a sudden, they're now, as I just did earlier in the podcast, saying, yet he's still around, and so why not, I say. He has his books, he has his music, he has his piano, he has his assistants, but he may hit 100. Who knows?
Oh, sure.
But I think knowing in advance, this is me, and I hope I don't get hit by a lightning bolt saying this, I think it would be a really sage and wise idea to have a mandatory retirement age for a pope.
It's funny, what you're saying is very much related to the voting for a new pope. You can't vote if you're over 80. So the College of Cardinals, there are cardinals that are 100, there are cardinals that are 95, 85, and so on. They can still be cardinals, but they can't vote if they're over 80. So they're recognizing that, which is interesting. The church recognizes that.
Do they still attend?
They have an option.
Oh, they do. Okay.
But they can't vote.
I don't think there's anybody on the planet that doesn't find that particular period in the Catholic lives of so many fascinating to watch. The white smoke, the black smoke, the white.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's
it's fascinating.
But that's only people under 80 that can vote.
I think I remember that, but I don't know if I remember that. I think I want to believe.
Because one of the things people look at whenever the Pope appoints new cardinals, to see how old they are, and some are appointed for an honorary reason.
Right. I'm not trying to do a disservice to the church or basic history within the church, but I just think it would be fascinating to see how it would change the chairs on that vessel if you knew that he's got 2 more years until he retires. And you would almost think of it in an athletic way, like, boy, there's this kid down in the minors who, he's way overdue to come up.
Well, they still do that.
They still do that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there are cardinals and bishops out there right now that have already been discussed about,
and they discuss.
Oh, and they know as well that they're being discussed about or being talked about?
I'm sure some do, but they, very often nowadays they have people that don't want that responsibility, and so there are ways of just saying, forget about it.
All right, final question about this. I just find the whole.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't have to give me your opinion on this, but I'm going to ask for your opinion on this. Do you think it's a good idea to have a mandatory retirement age for, in the future, our Pope?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what that age would be, but I certainly think there should be some sort of just like I think there should be a limit to the presidency.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think 75 is a good time. That would allow the Pope to also have some quality time left in his years here.
Possibly,
on the planet Earth.
It's hard to plan on health, isn't it?
Yeah. But you certainly know you've got all the help you'll ever need.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
So, fascinating. I just find it fascinating. Yeah. And I think that what you have to do as a Christmas gift is give me a trip to Italy.
All right.
All right.
I'll put that on the agenda.
All expenses paid trip by Father Joe Grimaldi. I kid, I jest, I kibitz.
Oh.
But thank you for that. And what about a little prayer for us today, Father? You got
Sure. You know, this year is the year of the priest for the Archdiocese of Detroit. We're praying for vocations to the priesthood. And the ultimate level of the priesthood, of course, is the Holy Father. And so the Holy Father has tremendous responsibilities that we all take for granted. Besides being a public figure, but people sometimes think that's all he does. But he's someone who is the spokesman for God on peace and justice in the world. And not always are people for him speaking in those areas, but by the same token, they are very important areas. And so when he speaks on peace and justice, these are words that come through him from God. So Heavenly Father, we ask you to grant Pope Francis many years of good health and happiness, for he really does a wonderful job in shepherding our church throughout the world. And we ask you to bless him and also bless Detroit with more priests. For this, let us pray to the Lord through Christ our Lord. Amen. And God bless you. This is Father Joe Grimaldi, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Father Joe Podcast.
If you'd like, you can email us. It's frjoepodcast@gmail.com. That's frjoepodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook. Simply search Father Joe Grimaldi. And thanks for listening, everyone.